But there is a visitor. It is Sheikh Hussein. He was in Hargeisa, the biggest town in the north of Somalia. It is 100 miles away. He must have walked the whole distance. Sheikh Hussein is a special kind of teacher. He is nomadic like us. He travels around and gives our children lessons wherever he finds us. It is all part of a plan of the government and the United Nations, especially UNICEF. Sheikh Hussein has told us that UNICEF helps children all over the world in many different ways. Before this, our children didn't have any real schooling. How could they, being nomads? It is not necessary to have a schoolhouse to have a school. And Sheikh Hussein simply gets all the children together and teaches them under a shady tree. Ishmael and his friends, like all nomadic children, read and write in Arabic, because the Somali language has not been written. But of course, we all speak Somali. Sheikh Hussein is a great teacher of the Quran. That is the holy book with the teachings of Allah. But the women must continue with the work. They are making butter out of goat's milk. They rock the milk back and forth in a pot made of grass, and it turns into butter. The students write with soft sticks. Their ink is made out of the charcoal of frankincense, a very special tree. A week later, Ishmael's father said he must go to Hargeisa to buy another camel, and he said Ishmael would go with him. They would walk for 7 days, perhaps 100 miles, but Ishmael was not afraid of that. For a Somali, such a walk is nothing. And so they walked and walked. The country is flat and stony, but at least there was some water, a few growing things. Ishmael had never realized that Somalia was such a big country, and he knew even then that he was only seeing a very small part of it. On the 5th day, they came across a group of women dancing. They were giving thanks to Allah for the rains, for that meant the camels would give lots of milk, and their own babies would not die of heat and sickness. A few days later, They came over the crest of a hill, and there it was. And this was the market. Ishmael had heard something about it, but he had not expected all this noise. And the people, he had never seen such crowds. In Somalia, everybody bargains. But you can buy many things. Vegetables, corn, bread, and the butchers cut their meat right in front of you. And we are just learning about machines and sprays that kill insects. At first, some people thought it was magic, and Allah forbids magic. But Hussein told me it was not magic, it was scientific. But Ishmael's father was only interested in one thing: the camel market, where the Somali buy and sell all their camels. And there are men here too who buy camels and ship them across the Red Sea to the Arab lands, where they would be killed for food. For in Arabia, camel meat is a great delicacy. We Somalis almost never kill a she-camel, for as long as she is alive, she will give us milk. Ishmael's father looked at many camels. Some were too small, some were too expensive. Then Ishmael saw the most beautiful camel he had ever seen. He was huge and looked very strong. Everyone was looking at him, and he really seemed to know it. This would be a camel for a sultan. His hide was deep and rich, and he was very expensive. Then two men thought of a joke. They tried to ride a camel. Somalis never ride the camels. This is a nice one. His hide was healthy, his hair thick. How much? But the men are still trying to ride the camel. Ishmael had never seen trucks like that before, and so many of them. And throwing up dust like the winds of the Jilal in the dry season. Ishmael's father had to go back to the market. He would have to decide which camel to buy. Ishmael had another idea. At the end of the street, he had seen a low square building. It must be the school that Sheikh Hussein had talked about. There was no one inside, no one around. But one door was open. He had never before been in a building like this, all clean and white. And at the teacher's desk, the most exciting thing of all, books. Sheikh Hussein had told Ishmael about them. They were so small. The writing was so tiny. But they held great knowledge. You could learn so much about science, about the stars, the clouds. There was the Arabic writing. He could read it, but he could not understand it. Perhaps he would come here, but he would have to study hard and try.